Last month, there were rare scenes of open dissent across China. Protests flared up in response to lockdown and restrictions, including in the commercial hub of Shanghai and the capital, Beijing. This video behind me was from Shanghai at the beginning of this month. It resulted in a handbrake turn from the government, which abandoned its COVID-0 policies. But the protests didn't come out of nowhere. Pressure had been building for months. The first one was as far back as January 2020, or at the beginning of the pandemic, when hundreds of taxi drivers in one province protested over a lack of business. You can see how from spring 2022, they really picked up in intensity before this massive surge. Now, that wasn't just in Shanghai, of course. This map shows how they spread across China. The bigger the dot, the larger the protest. We haven't seen any large-scale protests since China opened up. And that's leading to a different type of online censorship. Earlier, I spoke to Manya Kurtzer, who runs a site called What's on Weibo.
Weibo has its own censorship teams, as does TikTok and many other Chinese social media apps. And what exactly the guidelines are for censoring, of course, that varies day by day, and it could actually change hour by hour.
Now, we can't quantify the amount of censorship, but we can see the sort of posts that are being taken offline. People's messages of support for protesters on Weibo, the Chinese equivalent of Twitter, have been swiftly deleted. But the work that Manya does on her site preserves deleted posts, keeping them online for people to see. And this is a good example. We've translated this person's post, and this is what they said. First, they're afraid of speech, then text, then white papers, now even a road sign. They are afraid of everything. So why are we afraid of them? Let's have a look at another example. This man writes, "Let them go home. It's time to call to release the protesters. Thanks to these young men, we can go out of home freely and do not need to be taken to the cabin hospitals." We're in a new phase now, though, with many people happy about the relaxation of COVID-0 and many people worried about the Omicron wave that is sweeping much of the country. They'll express that online, and authorities will be keeping a close eye on both camps.